Hey, good morning. I'm Angela Brown. I'm a content creator and I am recovering from burnout. This is my journey. I wanted to share this with you this morning because the concept we're talking about today is why content creators bouncing from project to project can lead to burnout. Now, it's an interesting phenomenon, but because we love to create, there's an incentive for us to keep creating new things. But that said, when you keep creating new things and you don't finish what you start, it leads to burnout because there's a demotivation in the process. There's a lot of energy and a lot of creativity that is spent in creating new projects. And when those projects are not finished, they often don't generate the end desired result, which means they don't turn into likes and shares and earned media and payment and all those things. And so when we start a project and we don't finish it, we're hurting ourselves. And that leads to discouragement, demotivation, and burnout. Okay, so a couple of things. When a content creator creates something, it's important that there be a deadline. Like by a certain deadline, we're going to finish this project because that gives us something to look forward to and something for us to aim towards. It also helps us clear the plate so that we're just not bouncing around from project to project. Now, if there are a multiplicity of projects that you're working on, they all need to have a specific deadline and they all need to be on a calendar. By having them on a calendar, that's going to allow you to work on a particular project for a particular amount of time. When that's done, you're done with that project and you go to the next one. Over a period of days, you will finish those projects. But once you have your schedule full, don't pick up any new projects until those projects are complete. The reason being is when we start a project and we get partway through it, it's easy to lose focus or it's easy to lose momentum. And because we can't see so much progress and we just see little bits of projects on lots of different things that we're working on, none of them ever really get finished. So we feel like we're scrambling around and we're just kind of like flittering from project to project. And that makes us feel frustrated. Okay. So one of the things for us moving forward, pick the projects that you're going to work on and prioritize them in the ones that will bring your business the highest amount of money. And so it's easy to do little things that are behind the scenes, tweaking colors or a font or something on a website when that's not the best use of time. So we have to really focus on what is the most important use of my time in this moment that will move the needle furthest in my business. And then make that the priority and put that on the schedule. Put that on the calendar so that when you wake up in the morning, that's what you focus on. If you have a limited amount of creativity, which we do, and you have a limited amount of energy, which we do, and you have a limited amount of time, which we do, we have to really focus on starting projects that are going to move the needle forward and then sticking to those projects with the verve and the drive and the enthusiasm that has made us who we are today. Okay. So it's going to be a laser focused concentration that's going to help us start a project that's going to be advantageous to the business, then help us finish that project. All right. So that's my message for you today. Focus on the project that you start and stick with it all the way through to completion. If you can learn this one little tiny secret, you will bypass so many content creators that are just scrambling from day to day and trying to get stuff done. And they're kind of flittering around from website to website or topic to course to whatever it is they're doing. Okay. Pick a project, stick with it, and then like laser focus all the way through until that project is complete. Okay, my updates for the day. And I'm super excited about this. I have done really well in the last 2 weeks. So my content creator journey, this is being documented over by Lifelong Productions. And I'm really happy about the progress that I've made so far. I have been recommending that I get more sleep every night. I'm recommending this to myself because sleep has been one of the biggest struggles that I've been focusing on. I got 4 hours and 8 minutes of sleep last night. Now it's a weekend and I gave myself permission to stay up a little bit late, but the later I stayed up, I started feeling the effects of it. Like, oh no, why am I still awake? I know I should be in bed. Okay. So I know better. And I consciously made a choice to stay up because I was finishing a project and I felt like I had to stick with it through the end. And I was trying to finish it before the end of the week for the very reasons that I mentioned. I wanted to see the progress. I wanted to feel the sense of success and having achieved it. And I knew that if I stayed up another extra hour, I could power through and I could knock that project off my list. So that was my goal. So I didn't get as much sleep and I sacrificed something for something else. It goes back to everything we say yes to, which I said yes to staying up an hour later. I had to say no to something else, which was my going to bed early and getting an extra hour of sleep. So we are always making a trade with our time. I am staying hydrated. And this is the next focus for us for today. Staying hydrated is really important because it affects everything that you do, from your creativity to your moods to your irritability to every single thing that your business is connected to. It's going to depend on your hydration and how your body operates, how your brain thinks, how you function, and your moods and all of that are driven by how your body works. So very super important. All right, the next one is the intermittent fasting. This is absolutely a new concept for me. I've heard of it before. I've puttered around with it a little bit. I've never really done it like I've done it right now, and I'm excited about the results. I didn't know my body could go without eating every couple of hours. And for the last 2 weeks, the hardest part is changing the mental or the neurological thoughts of, oh, I should be eating right now, because I'm not physically hungry. If I ask myself, am I hungry right now? I'm not. I'm actually okay. I just am at a state of the day where I normally go looking for food. And so if you have regular meals that you normally eat and you're doing intermittent fasting, there will be a change for you. And this was a change for me because I have not done this before. And so now just training myself, oh, and I have a little app on my phone and it will clock the hours that I'm fasting. And then there are little tips throughout the day. I'll leave links in the notes below to the fasting app that I use. But there are little tips throughout the day like, oh, hey, you're in hour 17. Here's what you should be experiencing right now. And I look at the app and I'm right on target. Exactly what's supposed to be happening is happening to my body. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. One of the best decisions that I've ever made. And I don't know why I might ever go back. Now, I do know in intermittent fasting, you don't want to stay on the same schedule forever. Like you don't want to just fast the same schedule forever. You want to break it up a little bit. Today, I'm breaking it up. This is not today that we're talking about. I'm actually reporting on yesterday, but today is Sunday. And so today, it being Sunday, I am going to break it up and I'm going out to lunch and I'm going to have that fun meal of the week. So I won't be fasting on my regular schedule today, and I'll probably switch the hours up a little bit so I can have that fun meal, and it will, jumble my body a little bit. My body will have to try to catch up, and it will be fine. So you can have exceptions to the rule and look forward to those. And that's where I am. But for the rest of the week, I've done phenomenal on the intermittent fasting. All right. The next concept that I want to report on is the nourishment. The nourishment is really important for the fact that our brains function on the food and the fuel that we give it. And so I've been really conscientious this week to say, what fuel am I giving my body? And if we want to live in the millionaire, billionaire game, we can't give ourselves crappy dollar food menu items, right? We have to be careful about what we eat. So moving into this process, again, I was asking for myself radically different results by doing radically different things. And so what was radically different for me is no food from a can, a box, or a bag. And that means no preservatives. And so I've been really focusing on eating raw fruits and vegetables or slightly cooked fruits and vegetables and salads. And so my food has been lightly cooked. And I say lightly cooked. I've been eating lightly cooked salmon and some eggs and some things that have protein in them. But the rest of my food is not processed food. That's a huge change for me. And that could contribute to some of the other things that I've seen as far as the acne clearing up and the liver spots or the dark spots on my face fading to almost nil, right? I've noticed a remarkable difference in how I feel. So I think that the nourishment is working along with the intermittent fasting and the hydration. All right, the next thing I would like to report on are my workouts. My workouts have become a really big part of my life. And I know that I started looking forward to my workouts every single day because getting up in the morning was new for me. And getting up and going to the gym was not convenient. I would love on a short night to just roll over and go back to sleep and sleep for an extra hour, or get up and hurry and work because that's what content creators do. right? But I've really forced myself to get out of bed every single day and go to the gym. And as a result of that, I've lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. And I've started toning my body and I've lost a lot of visible cellulite. So I'm looking at the results in 2 weeks and I'm saying, was it worth getting up and going to the gym every morning? The answer is a big heck yeah, absolutely. Would I do it again? Absolutely. All right. So the interesting thing about what I'm going through right now is this. In this process of changing my burnout and recovering from burnout, I'm looking at what I'm doing right now and I'm trying to think into the future and saying, is this sustainable? Can I restructure my schedule so that I can get up every single morning without fail and go work out? I'll flex the workouts a little bit. I won't do the same workout every day. I'll go from swimming to running to lifting weights and some other strength training. But can I go every day and can I make that a part of my life? And the answer is yes, I now see that I can't live without it. Okay. It's become such a big part of my life. I don't think I can go back. I want to say hi to my friends here. Thanks for joining me today. It's so great to have you guys here. And if you are going through burnout, leave a comment in the notes below. Let me know what kind of a burnout and how long it's been lasting for you. For me, this is week 2, coming back from my burnout recovery. The next thing I want to report on are my moods. As a content creator, our moods are really significant in the content that we create and how we present ourselves to other people. Over the last couple of weeks, and this is before I started this process, when I started the process, I started it because my moods were really sour. I was really burned out and I was aggravated. I was full of anxiety. I wasn't sleeping well at night, tossing and turning and cussing in my head, things like that, because I was not happy. And I know that since I started the burnout recovery process and documenting my process every day, I've noticed that my moods have gone through the roof. As far as feeling great on a scale of 1 to 10, I've been a 9 or a 10 every single day, all day. And I know that when I get really tired, maybe at about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, my moods don't drop, but I just get tired. And I'm kind of like, all right, I had a great day. I'm super productive, but I got to go to bed because I'm whooped. I'm just whooped. I can't keep awake any longer. So I got that going for me. All right. The next thing I want to report on is the progress that I've made in my business. What is really interesting about going through burnout recovery and documenting the progress and also documenting the progress of your business is the projects that you've started, you start seeing the completion of. And I've noticed that I have a certain pattern, like a certain course, for example, might take me several weeks to create. And I've noticed that while my mind and my brain were on high alert, I've noticed that I've been able to do so much more in so much less time. And so right now I've been able to tackle a couple of projects that I've kind of been putting off. Like right now we're trying to upgrade some of our websites. And so the process of websites eludes me. And I get in there and I struggle with it. And I'm like, no, how do you do this? And it's a huge learning curve. And I keep saying to myself, I call it the 7-minute rule. In 7 minutes, I can jump on YouTube and I can watch a video. And in 7 minutes, I will have the answer that I need. And I cannot unlearn what I'm going to learn in that 7 minutes. It might be 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I say 7. But if I don't spend the 7 minutes right now, I will never know that. So if I'm willing to invest the 7 minutes to the learning curve, then I will have a new set of skills that I can apply to everything else that I do. So one of the things that I learned was fluent forms. That's how to create a form with conditional logic that links to something else. Well, yesterday I was trying to learn a pay program, and guess what? Lo and behold, it links to the fluent forms. So the same skills that I learned on fluent forms, I'm now using over here on the payment booking system. So they kind of link together. But again, that was a skill that I cannot unlearn. So I'm going to give myself a thumbs up for learning new skills during this process where my mind is on high alert and I'm feeling pretty good. All right. The next thing I want to report on is the challenges that I face, because every content creator faces some sort of challenges at some part of their journey. The challenges that I've been facing is the learning curve of the website stuff. I'm not a techie by nature. And so I find myself on two computer screens. One is for learning, the other one is for doing. And so I watch the one computer screen and then I pause it. And then I go over to the other computer screen and I do the thing. And then I go back and I click the button and it says click here. And then I freeze it and I come over here, click here. And so I'm teaching myself. I feel like I'm kind of, I don't know, my own tutor. But I also want to thank ChatGPT because I have asked so many questions. And my questions are based on what I'm doing in that moment. So I might say, hey, I'm inside Fluent Forms, and this is a program created by WP Manage Ninja. And here's what I'm trying to do. When I get to this screen, here's what I'm seeing on the screen. Do you know how to fix this? Or can you guide me through the steps? And it might say, I'm not familiar with that exact program, but when you get to this, here's what's supposed to happen next. And it will guide you on a journey where I've been able to resolve most of my computer challenges with AI. Yay for AI, right? I feel like I got a private tutor right over my shoulder. All right, the next thing that I want to remind you of is to follow me if you are not already, lifelongproductions.com/burnout. This is where I'm documenting my daily journeys, and this is the opportunity where you can see exactly what I'm working on, how much I weigh, what I ate, the different stuff that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I've got little blogs, little notes, little links. I'm linking back to people that I'm working with, projects that I'm working on, content that I've created. It's kind of where you can see a peek underneath the hood. So follow me over there, lifelongproductions.com/burnout. And then I do want to give a shout out to Lifelong Productions. This is their show. So this is a company that helps content creators finish the projects they start. I know yesterday I was on a consulting call with one of the people that is in the Lifelong Production system. And he said, you've put me so far out of my comfort zone. And I said, how is that working for you? And he paused for a second and he said, I've never been happier and I've never been more proud of myself for accomplishing stuff that I never thought I could do. And to me, that was like a win. I was like, yes, that's what this is all about. And I'm delighted to be working with Lifelong Productions. I'm delighted to be a consultant over there. I'm teaching 2 new training classes coming up. One is on media and how we got listed in hundreds of national publications and magazines and news outlets. And then the other one that I'm teaching is on how to monetize your YouTube channel. We've monetized ours 27 different ways. And so I'm teaching a course for the advanced membership on how to monetize your YouTube channel and all of your different properties that you've created. All right, so that's it for today. I am going to leave you with this. 2 things that I want you to remember. Number 1, you matter. And number 2,